Hi everyone, my name is Ashley and I'm here to talk about all the books I will be reading this June. The first book I will be talking about is White Fragility by Robert DiAngelo. This is a book written by a white person and it talks about race and it challenges the idea that white people have about race and their ideas about people who are non-white. And I will be reading this book for the Blackout Buddy readathon, and this readathon was created by Read with Shay, and it was in response to what is happening in America right now and the protest and the police brutality and just all the disgusting things that happen now. Things won't be able to change unless people are willing to learn and change themselves and realize the differences and accept the differences and just realize that we all need to be treated like human beings. So I will be participating in this readathon. I hope you do too. I hope you are researching, finding literature to read, and just educating yourself some way, somehow. The other readathon I will be taking place in is the Make Your Myth Taker, created by A Frolic Through Fiction, and I believe they also have a book club as well. I recently just found it, so I'm not totally sure. But this readathon has 4 different people you can choose, and then each of those people have 4 different paths. I will leave her announcement down below. I know it's kind of late, but it's really confusing, but like once you see it, it makes sense. So I chose the path of witch and royal spy. So I'm just going to go through the prompts and say which books I'm going to read for those prompts. Okay, so when you first start this readathon, you have to read the books in order because it's a path that follows. And I chose witch because I was already reading this book that fit the first prompt, and I'm like, sure, why not? And that first prompt is to read a book featuring an animal, and that I'm reading The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Pan. This was a book I was supposed to read last month, and I read it the first of this month, so super close. And this features a bird. This is about a girl whose mother passed away from suicide, and she believes her mom has turned into a bird. So the bird is a prominent character in this book. The next prompt is to read a book with a foil cover, and for that I chose Strange the Dreamer by Lani Taylor. It is definitely glary. And this is about Laszlo Strange, who was an orphan, and then he's chosen to go back to the city of Weep to sort of figure out how to get the city back. This is by Lani Taylor, and she just has beautiful writing. She's so like lyrical and just so beautiful. I read her other book, A Daughter of Smoke and Bone, loved it, and hoping to love this one as well. So next on the path is to read a book featuring a magic battle, and for that I will be reading Infinity Sun by Adam Silvera. So Adam Silvera is typically a contemporary writer, but he branched into the world of fantasy, and I do not know much about this. I know there's some LGBTQIA rep in here, and I know it's urban fantasy. And in the synopsis, it said something about magic and battling, and I was like, sure, that fits. I need to read this anyway. So I'm interested to see how he transitions into fantasy. So the last path on the witch journey is to read a book with occult themes, and for that I will be reading Bloodwitch by Susan Dennard. I started Bloodwitch, I think, last year. I was reading this series and for some reason I put it down, even though I love Aedwin and or Baedwin, whichever way you want to call him. And I have no reason why I put it down. It's like the 4th book in this series, and I think like 100 pages in too. So I will be finishing that book this month because I'm all about finishing series. I'm like so done with starting something and not completing it until like years later. Alright, so as I said, that does finish up the witch path, so then I decided to journey on over to the royal court and try to be a royal spy. And the first thing on the royal spy path is a book that you heard good things about. And for that I chose You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. This is a debut novel by Leah Johnson. I believe she just got on the Indies bestseller list today as well. This is about a girl who needs scholarship money to go to school, so she enters her prom king queen contest and ends up having a crush on her competition. This book does have female romance, and yeah, I'm like super excited for this. It's been everywhere, and I'm excited to see just all the romance and all the cuteness, because who doesn't love a good contemporary? Alright, so the next spot on my journey is to read a book with royal colors on the cover, so red, purple, or gold. And for that I chose Felix Ever After by Kacen Callender. There's some like gold, and the colors are there. This is also just like a really beautiful cover. This is the book about a transgender teen who is falling in love for the first time and truly finding their identity and discovering who they are and learning to accept themselves. I've heard really great things about this, and I'm also excited to get into this book as well. Alright, and then the next path on my journey I'm not allowed to tell you about because it's a secret book, so you'll find out during my wrap-up. But after that, the next path is an underhyped book. So what I did is I just went to my Goodreads and took a book that had like low rating stars, and that was If It Makes You Happy by Kann. And this is another contemporary because it's summer and who like doesn't love contemporary. And this is about a girl who, I guess her name is thrown into this contest, and she's entered into, I think, a beauty contest. This book also has some LGBTQIA rep in here. I tried looking up what she identified as. I was really unsure. I was trying to like look through comments but not like spoil myself. So I guess I will find out at the end of the month when I read the book. So yeah, those are all the books that I will be reading this month. There is definitely a lot of contemporary, which I am happy about because I've been reading a lot of fantasy. So those are all the books I will be reading this June. I might read some more just depending on how the month goes. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Please be kind to people, and thanks for watching. Bye!